people you have what they want, your blog will just sit there. You know, it'll be alone on a cliffside with Stallone without any action at all.
Yeah, you got to grab that walkie-talkie. You got to scream to people, you know, I got what you want.
So let's talk about it. Obviously, promoting the blog is important and necessary for success. And here's a good analogy, okay? Imagine the rocket launcher in front of you is your blog, right? Now imagine the content that you're writing is the rocket. Now what would Rambo do with that content? He'd promote the hell out of everything with it. So it's important to know that why you need to promote. We'll talk about some quick tips for getting started. We'll also talk about blog directories, social news sites, and social media, and how all of these things help you promote your blog.
I love the analogy, Patrick. I think it's a great, exactly hits it dead on the head. You know, the rocket launcher delivers the missile, delivers the rocket. You know, it's valuable, but it's pretty much worthless without the rocket there. The rocket is your content. It's what's actually going to blow something up. What's actually going to make a difference in your blog and your efforts.
Exactly. So why do you need to promote your blog? Well, I mean, some things that are pretty straightforward. You want to get readers, right? People can't read your blog if they don't know it's there. So if you're promoting it, you know, you get people in and let them know and be able to find your content and compel them to return. It also helps you get searched, right? The more links to your blog out there, the more likely people are to find it organically through Google, Bing, Yahoo, whatever. And then, you know, you get results from promoting your blog. I mean, the more people you spread the word to, so to speak, the better, and the more chances you'll have to increase your audience and achieve the desired results. You know, it might be selling a product, it might be selling your services. So the thing to remember is, you know, promoting your blog is obviously a good thing.
Yeah, and you know, it's about finding an audience, and it's about building links, and both those things will help you get your blog moving. When you start out, it's not going to be an overnight success. You know, people aren't just going to show up to your blog and start reading it. You have to give them a reason to, and you have to build that over time. You know, and the more links you build, the more people you can bring in. I like to think of it, you know, each link is like an entrance or a doorway. The more ways you have that people can get to your blog, the more likely they're going to read it. You have to make an active effort to create those entranceways.
That's right. So how do you get started promoting your blog? Well, you obviously could do any number of things, but inviting your employees to read the blog is, depending on how many employees you have, can be a big jumpstart to promoting it. Because then they will in turn invite other people and get more readership that way. Sending online press releases is always a great way to start promoting the blog. Getting links from other sites, incorporating RSS feeds, even recruiting guest bloggers. If you recruit a guest blogger and they have a following on another site, it in turn can then bring those readers over to you. If they're reading their blog, you're indirectly getting some of the benefits of the guest blogger's readership, and then offer to guest on other blogs. You know, again, it's just the reciprocal of that. Is if they have another blog has a good following and they see you on there and they like what you're saying, they're going to jump over to your blog and possibly start becoming a regular reader.
And like I mentioned, you know, all these things, they're all intended. It's all about building an audience and gaining more links, which, you know, then in turn helps you make your audience even bigger. You know, you start small. You get your employees involved. Maybe they tell people, you know, anybody you can find on your social media sites. You put out press releases and stuff like that to just get those links out there. Start slowly bringing people in, you know, building up more and more. And then some of the things we're going to talk about in a minute, you know, enable you to do that, sort of take that to another level.
That's right. So some of the ways that you can promote are through blog directories. And it gets your blog on the radar. It gets links out there. And there's tons of these. Some are free and some are paid. Some of the few top directories that you'll see are, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about these, Shad.
Yeah. There's a ton of these blog directories out there, and basically what they are is when you get your blog started, it's an easy way to create some links to get start moving some traffic there. It's one of the simplest things you can do to your blog up and running. Technorati is sort of the top one. It's a free site, so that's probably the biggest blog directory out there and the most popular. Then there's Blog Hub, Blog Hints, Blog Catalog, 1,000 other things that start with blog. Simple Google search for blog directories, you'll find a ton of these. Anywhere you can put your link out there to your blog, get it out there, give people a way to find it. That's sort of what this is about.
That's right. And so in tandem with that, you'll have social news sites as well, where you can submit your blog for people to find. And these are nice because you're reaching people interested in your topic, right? If you put your blog in these social news sites, people who are searching for a specific topic will search there, see your site, and then visit. Obviously, one of the most effective ways to use these is to use them regularly. So some of the top sites include Dig, Reddit, StumbleUpon, Delicious. The key is when you're using these to use them all the time, so that they see your blog content being created and then traffic people over to them.
Yeah, and it's the blog directories are sort of about just giving a link to your blog in general. The social news sites are more about promoting individual posts. And what it is basically these are just communities where, these huge communities on the web where people are sort of sharing information, sharing news, different things related to topics they're interested in. You got to kind of really entrench yourself in these for them to be effective. You got to use these sites, become a regular user. Become a person who looks at what other people are sharing, comments on it, and, then you can put your own things out there. And, the things that start a conversation are the ones that will be most effective. But it's a good way to draw, you can draw people to your individual blog posts.
So in relationship to social news, you have social media as well. This is the great part about social media is that each channel ties into the next, right? When you write a blog post, you can use that content for Twitter feeds, for Facebook posts, for LinkedIn discussions, etc., etc., etc. But you get the most use out of your blog entries and extend the life of your posts if you use little snippets from that to create quality content that can go a lot further in these other social media outlets. Obviously, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, top big three, but there's a ton of them out there. And you get more life out of your blog entries by using those.
Yeah, and they should all your social media efforts. It's the reason we're having this whole webinar series. All this stuff should sort of connect and overlap. When you have a blog, as soon as you put out a new blog post, that should be up there on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, if you have those things developed. If not, we'll be talking more about those in parts 2, 3, 4, etc. of the social media summer action series. But if you have those things out there, use those audiences. You have 1,000 Facebook fans, share your blog with them. Try to bring some of those people over to that side. And that's the way these things work best. They're all connected together.
That's right. And you can use tools like Hootsuite and TweetDeck. If you haven't heard of these, they're applications that you can use to help spread the word, right? Basically, they work as applications. TweetDeck is one that sits on your computer. Hootsuite is a web application, but they work very similar in that it allows you to schedule your tweets, your Facebook posts, your LinkedIn discussions, and allows you to schedule them in advance so that you're not doing them and having to remember periodically throughout the week. So they could be a great asset to you as you're building your social media empire, if you will.
Do we get the win this time? This time it's up to you.
So now we've given you the information, the tools you need to succeed, right? And it's up to you on how successful your blog becomes.
You have to build this Stallone-like muscle. You have to give your blog the power. You have to use these things to try to reach people and build it up. And like I said, it's going to take time and it's going to take effort. But, anyone can do it. Any business can do it. You can become, as buff as Stallone if you put the work into it.
Yeah, and that's the key. I mean, nothing happens really overnight, right?
Never.
Yeah.
Almost never.
So, as a wrap up, we'll be posting our website.